Hello everyone, welcome to YK Reviews and welcome to the beginning of the Saw movie reviews, retrospective reviews. As we're building up to Saw 10, sawx coming out at the end of the month. Here, let's dive straight into it. Now, I know in the build up to Saw 10, there's tons of videos out there talking about the movies in the lead up to Saw 10, so I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. At the end of all of this, we're going to be doing a tier ranking for all the Saw movies. So if you are new to the channel, if you do like these types of contents, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. I have done other retrospective reviews in terms of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Last year I did the Chucky, the Michael Myers and the Hellraiser movies, so I'll post a playlist somewhere around here. And this was originally going to be planned for October, but with the movie being moved to September, we're doing all the horror movies for Saw in this month. And then we're going to be doing some horror movie retrospective reviews and tier ranking videos for some horror movies. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do when it comes to October. So definitely keep an eye out on the channel. Definitely subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on those types of videos. But with this one, I really had a great time with this movie. I've rewatched it many times. And it's always just a fun, exciting time with the movie, especially that third act, which we'll definitely be discussing. The movie coming out in 2004, it's not one of those typical slasher horror movies. It's this gore fest movie. Definitely gets more gory as the movies progress, where this one is kind of more tamed down. But I just love what they did with this movie, and I've rewatched this many times. When this movie came out 2004, I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I remember watching it not in the theaters but a couple of years later with my brother and my cousin. I'll talk about the reveal once we get to that part of the movie, but the movie in itself, the way it just starts off, doesn't hold back, gets straight to the point. You get introduced to the characters that we're going to be following throughout the whole movie. So you've got Dr. Lawrence Gordon and then you've got Adam. Both find themselves chained up in this dingy, dirty bathroom. And so what I really enjoyed about this movie is, along with the traps and the gory nature to it, it's sort of building this depths and layers of these characters. So like I mentioned, you start off straight away with Adam and Dr. Gordon inside this bathroom, both locked up, trying to figure out a way of how to escape, but they're bouncing off one another. They're talking between themselves. So you've got Adam and Gordon working out, first of all, how they're going to try and escape, working out why they're here, who could be behind it. And what I really enjoyed about this movie too is that while it is a little bit leaning towards the dialogue heavy side of things, because it is a lot of just them talking, you get to see why they've been brought in, what the backstory is. You find out that like Dr. Gordon is a doctor. He's actually been a suspect of the whole Jigsaw serial killer. He has been a suspect. We come to find out that he has actually been cheating on his wife, which is why he's linked to Adam, because Adam's the one that's been taking pictures of him, who has been paid by somebody to be taking pictures of him as like sort of this private investigator, I guess you would call him. So you get this in-depth layers of these characters, of their backstory. But more importantly, what I really enjoyed is while they're inside the bathroom, like while they're inside being trapped, and how they're trying to figure out how to escape, how you think that they are going to work together for 1 minute, then they looks like they're going to be turning on each other's backs the next minute. Like prime example is you've got Dr. Gordon with a picture of his wallet. He goes and throws his wallet to Adam, talking about his family and that kind of stuff, only for then this picture to be revealed, because Adam has to be killed by Dr. Gordon in order for Dr. Gordon to escape. So there's a picture of his wife and kid with a message in the back of the picture that Adam hides, because he knows that if Dr. Gordon finds out that his wife and kid is being kidnapped, then he's going to do everything he can to kill Adam. So there's this bit of manipulation with the one another. And of course, this movie isn't really focusing heavy on John Kramer as a character in itself, and which we'll get to that, because this movie is more focused on like the Adam and the Gordon character. So Jigsaw, John Kramer is sort of taken in the back seat. We do find out a little bit about Jigsaw and like his motto. Like you don't really see the John Kramer side of things. You see more of Billy the Puppet, which I just love Billy the Puppet throughout the whole franchise. Billy the Puppet is so iconic, that little laugh, the music, but just everything about it, you really enjoy that aspect of it. Again, it's focusing more on like the Jigsaw side of things, not John Kramer's side of things. So you see that he like saws out a piece of Jigsaw from the victim's skin. We get first introduced to then Amanda, who was actually a victim who managed to escape from one of my favorite traps in the whole franchise, with that whole bear trap. I don't know what you call it exactly, but that trap, she manages to escape thinking that she's been spared. She's known as this drug addict, so she's been spared getting this new lease of life. And so what is really great about this movie is that not only does it focus on the bathroom and Adam and Dr. Gordon, you get these layers of these other characters. So everybody's like playing their role. Everybody is being played essentially. So you've got Amanda, you get introduced to her, and she's an important thing in the upcoming movies, but we won't dive into that at all. You get introduced to like the two detectives, one who's like so focused on Jigsaw because of like what's happened to his partner. You come to find out that they actually found the lair of Jigsaw, but his partner ends up chasing Jigsaw to only be having his head get blown off, and that's really like affected him. His throat has been slit. So you see the impact that Jigsaw has made on these people's lives and what they've had to endure and what they've had to go through. So there's layers of all of these characters. So you get the detective, you get Amanda, then you get introduced to Zeb, who is actually, we come to find out, has been played in his own self. Like, he's part of a game too. I love his character, especially because he's one of my favorite characters in the show Lost. His witty humor, his dialogue, it just, everything about his character and his persona and his personality just really shines through. So he's one of my favorite like characters in Lost. So I always get happy when I see him on screen. So again, he's still got that witty humor, and we come to see again he is being played by Jigsaw, because we think throughout the whole movie, like, you kind of get this twist and turns out, could he be Jigsaw? Is he behind it? We even see that he's actually in Dr. Gordon's house, monitoring the whole situation, making sure that they're playing by the rules, kidnapping Dr. Gordon's wife and his daughter. They're being tied up to the bed. So there's this element of, okay, maybe he's behind all of this. Maybe he is Jigsaw. But of course, that's not really the case, because, like I said, throughout the whole movie, so between the first act and the second act, it's mainly focusing on the two characters, Gordon and Adam, and how they're going to try to escape. They even try to go through tricking Jigsaw by pretending that Adam is dead with his fantastic acting, only to get electrocuted by his foot. So there's all these different types of ways of how they're going to try and escape and how they're building up towards the third act. Because as we get to the third act, honestly, one of my favorite reveals of this whole franchise, and I wish I could relive it for the first time over and over again. So we come to find out that basically Zeb, again, has got Dr. Gordon's wife and their daughter hostage. The detective that's been obsessed with the case, who had his throat slit, has been spying on Zeb. He thinks that he's the one that's behind Jigsaw. So they have this whole sequence where Zeb is being chased by the detective, this back and forth going on there, because Dr. Gordon's wife and his daughter managed to escape. So you've got the whole sequence there. They realise, Adam and Gordon, that the only way to escape was going to have to be sawing off the foot. And that whole sequence in itself, that intense sequence with the music being played, the score, Dr. Gordon using the saw and just going through sawing his foot off, with Adam's reaction too, was just absolutely incredible. And then this whole like just build up as everything is just taking place. You've got Zeb and the detective and that's going on with them, and then you've got somebody's foot is being sawed off, to then Adam's reaction. And then once Zeb ends up in the bathroom, because again, we think that he's behind all of this, it comes to find out that he's actually being played. His tape is getting revealed. And so then you've got this epic three-way interaction with Zeb, with Dr. Gordon, with Adam. Dr. Gordon ends up shooting Adam, tricking basically Zeb into thinking that's going to be the end of the game. Adam ends up just getting shot in the shoulder. He ends up attacking Zeb. He ends up shooting. Like, everything is just taking place. All this chaos is ensuing. Zeb is dead. Gordon manages to like escape and promises Adam that he's going to be coming back to rescue him with one foot missing. And then of course the music, the score, the epic score that it's known for starts playing, and then all of a sudden this man that's been dead on the floor for the whole movie, you get a shot of him in the beginning of the movie, and then throughout the movie itself, like, he's just laying dead on the floor. He just suddenly gets up and it's revealed to be John Kramer, and like the Adam's face when he's turning to see that John Kramer, like the focus of Adam's face with John Kramer in the background standing up, and again like the score that's being revealed, the voiceover in the background, and everything that just takes place from then onwards was just a stroke of genius. Like, this reveal was just absolutely mind-blasting and jaw-dropping when I first saw it as a kid. And every single time I just always wait for that sequence of just seeing Adam's face when this man just gets up and it's revealed to be John Kramer, it's revealed for him to be behind all of this, it's just absolutely incredible. Like, you will not get anything like this in terms of horror movies, a reveal like that, and I just loved what they did with that. And John Kramer ends up shutting the door to the bathroom, leaving Adam there, and Adam appears in future movies, but not as like a live being. But overall, when it comes to the movie, it's just such a fun watch, a really exciting, entertaining, brilliant horror movie. Again, it's not as gory as like the future movies of the Saw franchise. You don't really get too much when it comes to like traps or gore or violence in the movie itself, and it's not really focusing on John Kramer or Jigsaw, really focusing on like the other characters and focusing more on their layers and their backstory and the situations that they find themselves in. But that's honestly what makes this movie so great. While it's not focusing on Jigsaw, while it's not focusing on John Kramer, it does have that element in the background, and it's got that element of like who is behind all of this, leading you into one direction and then totally twisting you into another direction. And the pacing of the movie too, the movie I believe was running around an hour and a half, an hour and 35 minutes, but the pacing of the movie was just done so well, transitioning from the first act to the second to the third act was really well played. And I really like the color of the movie itself. Like, it's got like this dingy tone to it, but kind of like a green tint when it was having the bathroom sequence, so it was just coming off really dingy and dark and disgusting, and it just really popped on the screen when you really saw it. But overall in the movie in itself, it's such a fun watch and such an entertaining, great start to the franchise. I can rewatch this movie over and over again. It is, in terms of like horror movies, in terms of horror genre, it's definitely in the top 10 when it comes to horror movies, and it's a great way to kick off the franchise. Obviously you've got some ups and downs when it comes to the future movies, which we'll definitely be discussing, but this one I really had a fun time with. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you've seen the movie, what are your thoughts about it? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? What your thoughts are about that third act reveal? Please let me know in the comment section down below. And again, if you are new to the channel, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. So we're going to be doing retrospective reviews on all the upcoming Saw movies, so keep an eye out on the channel for that. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. This is YK Reviews. Peace.